Good evening, SRA Nation. We are here with the Division 3 race at Watkins Glen for round 6 of Season 4. We're just doing duo cast tonight, but I got the all-knowledgeable Andrew Anderson with me tonight.
We're doing Division 3 this week. Haven't seen you guys in a while, so let's have some D3 racing and let's have some fun.
For sure. Start off while they're getting their warm-up laps started. We're going to go with the track map here. And Andrew, you want to take us around the track there?
I can do it. Let's see. So Watkins Glen, Finger Lakes of they call it upstate New York. It's really not upstate. It's kind of west state New York. But I'm not from up there, so y'all know better than I do. So let's first talk about the track itself. Turn 1's downhill. We're going to see a lot of cars going wide, probably a lot of cars pointing in the wrong direction in turn 1 on lap 1. But then we head for the S's up the hill. I kind of struggle with calling that S's. It kind of looks more like a straightaway with Peyronie's disease, but that's probably a story for another day. But at the top of that hill, that's actually where we're going to see some problems there. That's where Francois Sever passed away tragically in 1973 in practice before the F1 race. The Watkins Glen race was always the last race of the season, and that was going to be his teammate Jackie Stewart's last F1 race. But tragically, Francois Sever, who won this race at Watkins Glen in 1971, tragically he went off left at the top of the hill, the S's, and tragically lost his life. It's odd that Helmuth Koenig lost his life in an F1 race in 1974 there. So he was a different place in the track, but still, that's terribly tragic. So what's interesting about that is Jackie Stewart, of course, the Tyrrell team pulled out. So Jackie Stewart didn't race his last race of his career. It's interesting. So anyways, moving on down the track, that long story anyway is interesting. Some cars are in our race tonight have more top end speed and some don't. You're going to see coming to the mines at the end of that kind of straightaway leading to the bus stop. We're going to see a lot of interesting things happening going into the bus stop. And we have the outer loop where that's actually where J.D. McDuffie passed away, racing a NASCAR race in a Buick, I think. But I think he went off there and broke his suspension, went straight on, and unfortunately he lost his life there. So, but anyways, and then the NASCAR guys use a short version of this track. But anybody that is, I think, much more refined races the whole 11 turns and use what we would call the boot, not Das Boot. That's a German book, and not the movie that John Bon Jovi's in. I had to go figure that out for myself. So, but anyways, so you're racing Das Boot. A lot more about boots before we're done with this thing, so stay tuned on boots. But I think it kind of looks a little bit more like a Cole Haan Greenwich series boot. That's another story too. But the boot's interesting. While you've got a hairpin, it's fast. And then you have a right and a left-hander at the top of the hill to finish up the heel and then the back part of the boot. But it's fast. There's no slow corners here. It's all fast corners. And how wide open and fast this place is, you can't pass. Somebody has to do something wrong for you to get by. So that's what I want to see for the track tonight. That's 11 turns of Watkins Glen. I think Steven's got info on the standings and who we're watching is going to be trying to get around this thing tonight. What do you have, Steven?
For sure. We're going to show the team standings real quick, and you got the Apex Hunters, which are the Mercedes of Robbie Totti and Ron Flo, out at 752 points with baseline 2 of GTG and Sircone way back at 543 points currently. Big gap for first to second. As long as the Apex boys don't mess up, they've got the team title in the in their hands, and then from second on back, the gaps are a little bit lower. And then real quick, we'll look at the driver standings, which is a little bit closer. Daniel Gutierrez of Tyler's Toes, one of the Dadman's drivers.
I love it.
He's 513 points out in first, with Robbie Totti at 409, Ramsey Connolly at 347, Corey Sircone at 345, and Ron Flo at 343. Gutierrez has been on a tear so far this season. I think he's won 2 or 3 of the 5 races so far, and I don't think he's going to let up if he's in the lobby tonight. I haven't checked to see who's all in there, but it's going to be a tough one. There's plenty of drivers and different manufacturers that have a chance of winning out here tonight.
Nice. It's going to be a competitive race. D3 has been competitive all season. I expect nothing less tonight.
Exactly,
and I think it's going to be a hoot. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So sit back, get a cup of coffee, and put your feet up. And you could be watching a rerun of the Kardashians. You could be watching Naked and Afraid, or you could be watching maybe a rerun of The Sopranos. But it won't be near as fun as this is.
Not one bit.
So we're gonna have some fun with it tonight. So there's 2 groups that are qualifying. There's in SRA in all the races. There's a gold and a silver division. The first 15 minutes, of which there are 8 minutes and 17 seconds left, are the silver group. So these are not supposed to be the fastest half of the grid, but I bet there are going to be a lot of these silver guys that are going to be qualifying in the top half. And so we're kind of letting these guys right now get their tires warmed up, get the fuel burned off a little bit. And so they're going to start getting more interesting.
It's just dialed in. Oh, yeah.
We got Jan Roderick's in the booth.
I just decided to jump in and make a special guest appearance here. I know you guys, shorthanded, so figured I'd jump in for a couple minutes and praise you with my presence.
Let me grab.
Wouldn't miss it.
I need to grab the reactive text for my boys.
So Andrew, have you already talked about Watkins Glen and the tiny postcard town that it is?
Not yet. We talked about the track. We've talked about a little bit of history with the track, but we haven't gotten into anything too wild and crazy yet. We've talked about some boots because these boots are made for walking here at Watkins Glen. And but there's a lot more boots and DOS boots and all kind of stuff coming up. So we've got 6 minutes left, 6.5 minutes left. So for their silver group, right now GTG is leading the way. Kyle Miller, Ron Flo, Whitting Jr., and we're watching. And we've got some guys down here in 11th and 12th. Formagal and Spacebaker are up 7/10 and a second plus, both of them. So that's going to move them up. Move them up. Thomas Greer is running 6th right now. Nice. Look at all the cool guys in D3. This is my first time doing a D3 race all season, so I haven't got to hang out with the cool guys yet.
We try to bring the cool guys in here.
Hey.
Andrew, I did want to ask you, about your race, last night. I saw that you kind of, which I've never seen in ACC before, that you somehow managed to kind of high center the car on that curb. Were you ever able to get out of there?
Let's see. Well, no. So I got behind some guys that were holding me up, and it got pretty frustrating for a while. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'll tell you, we hadn't mentioned it yet, but here we go. The Porsche is a lightning. How many Porsches? I don't see any Porsches. Are there any Porsches here tonight?
If Waleed's not in here, Waleed's not in here, so there's no Porsches in this.
There's
lobby.
not a porker in the bunch to talk about. So the Porsche here is really nice and fast by itself. This is not the first time I've run Watkins Glen ACC with a Porsche, but once you get in traffic, We're going to talk more and more about this. We're going to watch during this race that while it's wide open, tracks, I don't know, what, 50, 60 feet wide all the way around, but it's a one-lane track. You can get side by side with somebody, but like the Audis and the Ferraris, and especially the Aston Martins, have a higher top-end speed. And so if you're behind one of these guys, if they park it in the groove, there's nothing you can do about it, even though the Porsche is way faster in the corner, and then the Porsche can't pull off the pass by the end of the next straightaway. And you're stuck. And you're just stuck. And anyways, and people can kind of manhandle that Porsche a little bit because you can't pass them if they're going to be kind of, I don't know, I think rude enough to just park it in the middle of the groove. You can kind of do anything with it. And I've seen that before, and I've said this happened a lot last time, I think, for a lot of guys. So, but no Porsches to talk about. That was one of my storylines, is what are you going to do with that car that's fast in the corner that's not fast everywhere else?
True.
I mean, I think it's interesting. There's definitely a lot of places where I think that, you can die on this track. I mean, we saw a lot in both the practice race and the race last night. That inside curb going up the S's on the left-hand side there. I mean, you just touch that, you're going to spin around. Mm-hmm. You're going to cause a massive pile up. So it's going to be interesting, I think, the start of this race. D4, I think, the front guys got away cleanly, but, everybody, halfway back through his crash. And D1 surprisingly had a big accident as well. So hopefully D3 can keep it clean here.
In D1, when we have people that don't stay in their lane, and you get into a fast right-hand corner like that, you go 3 to 4 wide. It's 3 and 4 wide on the front side of turn 1. It's not 3 and 4 wide on the coming out of turn 1. And anyways, it got 3 and 4 wide last night. And so I lose a lot of positions on the start. I just try to just hold my line and try not to, without lose a lot of positions doing it. But it's going to be interesting to see. We got a lot of good drivers, good safe drivers in D3, and I think we're going to see a lot of guys respect turn 1 and come out the other side looking good. So that's what I want to see in turn 1. So these guys have got, how much time do they have left? Not
17,
much.
These guys got about 2 more minutes. I don't know why in the HUD for the race control, my times aren't showing on the side for everyone to see. Anyone know why that's not showing up? Maybe somebody in chat that's watching.
So we're getting down to the last lap or so. Formigal is up. Yeah, Formigal's up a half in his BMW, his Lexus rather.
Press insert.
Yeah, that should do it.
In game, do you?
I believe so. So we got about 1 lap to go for everybody. So it looks like GTG and Ron Flo are pretty safe. Nobody's mounting a challenge here. And so I think for Silver Pole, I think that's what it's going to look like. GTG, Ron Flo, Kyle Miller probably are your first 3 starters for the Silver Division. But in about a minute, 15 seconds, we're going to release the hounds. And the gold guys are going to take off. We're going to see what these guys are up to. So since this looks like it's kind of settled here.
And that's interesting with GTG and Flo being, at the top there, because they're kind of 2 and 1 respectively in the team's championship with Baseline Racing and Apex Hunters. And for those of you that recall, I think GTG passed Flo on the last corner of the last lap at Bathurst last year for Baseline to win the team championship. So it's going to be a close race between those 2 guys.
I want to watch that. So Bickham's up 3 clicks, but it's not going to get him where he needs. I think our silver lineup is set, and so with nobody else making any room here. So I guess I'll make quick work of. I got interesting track facts for Watkins Glen. First is the first race held here was 1948. And what's interesting about that, it was 6.6 miles. It's kind of like Spa, where it kind of was a long road race around the town, kind of like Spa used to be. But I'll tell you who was in that race was a guy named Charles Adams with 2 D's in his name. And if you know who Charles Adams is, he's the cartoonist that created what later became a TV show, The Addams Family. He was in that race. I think it's fantastic. Now, he was married several times. His first wife is the person that he kind of modeled Morticia after. But his second wife, her name was Barb. Yeah, Barbara Barb. And she was crazy. And she was a lawyer. And she actually looked like Morticia and acted like her. And she ended up getting control of all his assets. He had to hire an attorney just to get his assets back from his wild and crazy wife. That's really crazy. So, Alfa Romeo 8C. If you know, Alfa Romeo is already it's back to making an 8C model. So that's fantastic. But F1 raced here for 20 solid years. And we talked a little bit earlier about Francois Sever, who lost his life here in Jackie Stewart's last race. That was sad. But where we're at is the Finger Lakes of, we're watching qualifying as we have released the hounds. So we're at the Finger Lakes of New York, and we're at the bottom western corner of Seneca Lake. I think that's highly interesting because Seneca Lake 650 feet deep. So the U.S. Navy actually has sunk some boats down there, and they did submarine work for World War II and times after because the pressures are similar to what you get in an ocean. So they worked out a lot of sonar testing in Seneca Lake right next to where this racetrack is at, and which I think is also interesting. I'll bet anything. I couldn't find this, but I bet they did a lot of other submersive communications training and testing and learning, and we know who invented that. If you remember the beautiful actress in the 40s, 50s, and 60s named Hedy Lamarr, she was an Austrian actress, and she acted for at least 20 plus years in Hollywood. But she and an Austrian composer developed the initial architecture that we use today for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and those two are in the National Inventors Hall of Fame for inventing Wi-Fi. And it sounds like, from all the reading I've done, that's what they used in testing at Seneca Lake, which is next door to this place. Now, if you think the name Hedy Lamarr sounds familiar, if you've seen Blazing Saddles 85 times, which you probably have, remember Harvey Corbin's character was Hedley Lamarr. He had to always tell people it's not Hedy, it's Hedley Lamarr. And Hedy Lamarr actually sued Mel Brooks for using her name for being the butt of the joke. But I think it's fascinating that it makes tons of reason they used her technology in Seneca Lake, which is right next door to this place, which I think is really cool. And so anyway, so what you've got here, now there's people probably from up in this area that know this all better than we do. But, of course, in this whole area of New York is where the Iroquois Indians were at. And I thought the Iroquois were a single tribe. It's 6 tribes. And, Seneca is one of the tribes. There's Senecas, there's the Mohawks, Oneidas, the Cayugas, the Onondagas, and what's the other one? The Tuscaroras. I'm trying to remember these guys. And so anyways, so you got these 6 tribes here. So Seneca Lake is, of course, one of the tribes. And so I think it's interesting that there were a large number of Seneca Indians that were here before the American Revolution. And where they are now, about 1,000 are living in Canada, because after the American Revolution, some of them chose to side with the British, and they found it much more comfortable in Canada afterwards. But about 5,000 were actually, I think it's interesting, after the colonists, we still got 10 minutes. I got just a few minutes left here. After the colonists gained their freedom from the British, they kind of got that freedom. They told all the Iroquois Indians, then, of course, down in the area where I'm from, too, they told all the Indians that they were free, too. but they were free to do their thing in Oklahoma. So they actually, a lot of the Seneca Indians, unfortunately, were moved to Oklahoma. But there's still about 1,000 that live right there in the area today and have a rich heritage of Seneca, as well as the other 5 tribes of Iroquois in the New York area. And I think it's fantastic. I love the rich heritage that all Native Americans have in my area and there as well. Famous Iroquois Indians. Graham Greene, if you remember Kicking Bird from Dance of the Wolves, he's the Oneida Indian. Jay Silverheels, who was Tonto in the series Lone Ranger. Mohawk Indian. I still want to know what Kemosabe means. I think it means take that mask off, you look stupid. But that's between them. So anyway, I think it's fascinating. And so that's everything I think that's cool about Watkins Glen. We did that. We always try to finish with about 9 minutes left. We got 9 minutes and 2, 1. We got 9 minutes to go to watch these guys qualify. Now they got their tires hot. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, they're setting some pretty fast
some good times. People are, 145s. It's definitely a good time. Sorry, but we can troubleshoot this live really quickly. I mean, I think it's your cycle MFD. So if you go into your options and you bind the MFD versus your HUD and controls.
Yeah.
So go down to cycle MFD.
It's this
right
one.
There.
This one?
And then bind a keyboard to that.
Okay. I'm just going to bind it way over here somewhere.
Yep. And that should be if you click, then you hit hyphen. There we go.
Oh, appreciate it. Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Hey, look at that.
I was losing my mind.
Yeah. You were cycling the HUD up and down, but I didn't want to interrupt all the
you're
incredible
good.
facts that we're getting about,
Oh, I should have
Native American.
guys.
No,
That's
that's okay.
No, you were doing good. You were buying some time while I was figuring this all out.
Yeah.
The best thing I do on Wednesday nights is buy time.
Interesting, another interesting thing, since we're close to Canada, in Canada, rather than call them Native Americans, they actually call them First Nations individuals. So I know we got a few folks here from Canada. So
That's crazy.
I meant to use that, but you see, here is more Native America. I'm in the South, and we would use that. We use that word more.
Oh, spaghetti.
Yes.
No, not making a comment on which is right or wrong. I'm just interesting fact, I think, one way or another.
Yeah,
fascinating. So
called the same people, different things.
Because it's while we're at that, because I'm in the north. I'm in northeast Georgia mountains area, and so anyways, I've got. I might have enough Cherokee. I might be able to buy a casino. I think my dad could probably buy a casino. It's he stays outside year round. He never uses suntan lotion. He just turns. He just bronzes up a little bit more. And
Well, I think it's interesting. Gutierrez here in the 44, so that's going to be that's a very good time. Going to be difficult to beat.
Yeah.
So Gutierrez, our points leader.
Points leader already got 100 points plus on second place. Trying to just make it where for the last 2 weeks all he has to do is just show up on the field and he has it. Oh no! Bola just loses it out of the chute there, and that's gonna end that run. Let's go to Corey Cercone, who's up 3/10. This will move him up to 3rd or 4th if he holds on to it.
And also interesting in the teams battle, he's right next to Cercone's a baseline racing driver that I'm obviously Sarver and I are biased being part of baseline racing in D4, but Cercone's a fast driver that we recruited this season, and interestingly he's right behind Toddy, who's a part of Apex Hunters. So
I love that.
Also another storyline here for the team spread.
Yeah, Toddy, Cercone, JTG, and then Flo, the 4 guys battling for the team championship, all in a row.
Yeah, the baseline team is in a Apex Hunters sandwich there, so hopefully they'll get out of that.
So what you're saying is the cream has risen to the top.
For sure.
Nice.
There we go.
See a straight up fight here.
There you go.
I
Corey
guess
finished it up.
There you go.
Spaghetti.
So we got 5 minutes left. So we're at the sharp end of this now. We're at the sharp end of qualifying. Now, of course, we're qualifying in the middle of the dark. Ugh. But anyways, we're going to be racing at 7 a.m. Simulated racing time. So it's going to be light. So it's going to be much easier to see what's shaking once we get rolling.
For sure, yeah, it'll be nice and bright once we get to the actual race conditions. Everyone's hopefully adjusted their tunes and they have good setups for the day as the night.
Now the 5 a.m. qualifying was it was a bit of a surprise in last night's race. I should have known that it was going to be 2 hours before race time and set it for myself, but we all had to do some tire pressure adjustments and a little setup adjustment real fast, and I did not do it so well. My results speak for themselves.
Yeah, it was tough, especially since the brake markers that you normally use up on the wall, you can't see the numbers, so you just have to know which one is the one you're supposed to brake at. Otherwise, you're going to go too late or too early into those corners and lose time.
And no, I won't say that happened, but it happened.
Yeah, it happened to me a couple of times. As Rakuski, though, jumps up to P1 at a 44.6.
Lorraine in the BMW.
Oh, he's up 6/10.
That's going to put him on the front row. Go. Yeah. Push, young man.
2 more corners.
As Steve Matchett might say, go on, push. I got a camera on him here off.
Yeah, we're watching him on the. Since we don't have picture-in-picture, we had a little technical difficulties. Our PMP guy is not here tonight. Larad, 44.8 goes up to second place.
Absolutely. Yeah,
nice.
PIP is MIA.
For sure. But we'll do without. We've got plenty of eyes still watching the race. We'll make sure to cover quite a bit of the action. Gutierrez is up almost 2/10 on his current lap. I'm going to go to Curtis Lee. He's up almost 7/10 as he rounds through the foot and the toe and the heel of the track there.
Yeah, I always wonder why they don't call this corner the ankle, coming out of after the heel.
They could probably, do a little bedazzling there at the ankle there and make that look a little nicer.
Yeah, because this is the heel, and then the next turn after it doesn't have a name. I wish it did.
It's the Achilles.
The Achilles, like that. Yeah, because it does want to kill you because that wall on the exit does catch a lot of drivers. Like
the Achilles will kill you.
I'm naming it the Achilles. It's going in my notes.
Yeah, so I think maybe that heel section, you want to put some bedazzling there, which I learned very quickly from the wife is very different from vajazzling, which she said those very tender 3 words. Heck no.
Yeah, and Lee goes 6. That's a great improvement.
45.
Look at that.
Huge
4.
Look at that.
Another BMW up near the front too. They're looking strong so far.
The 293, but I hate to say I didn't catch his name accurately. I don't know for Botla or Botia. He's up 3 clicks. That'll move him way into the top 10. I will take a look. The 293 BMW is moving.
Yeah, he's sitting at a 46.4, so if he stays 3/4 up, he can move all the way up to potentially 7th if he adds another 10th here in the last couple of corners. So
it is tight-knit field.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's moving too. He's up 4 clicks. 45 clicks. Finish it, man.
Dig. That'll be another BMW in the top 10 if he holds it.
Absolutely. Couple of corners to go. 1 more corner to go. Float it in there.
Still up 3.5.
Across the line, as Jeremy Clarkson says, and across the line.
Oh, 10th. He ties
Nice.
Doug's boy DJ Watts with a 146.085.
Or as Doug would say, DJ Watts.
DJ Watts. He's got to get that in there.
Very nice.
Rutkowski looks pretty untouchable here, though. I mean, Lorraine at 2/10 is almost 2/10 is quite a bit here. I'm kind of surprised at the gaps from first to 10, 1.5 seconds. I thought it would have been closer than that, but
I was expecting the top few drivers to be a little like top 10 within like a second, and then it gaps from there. But the dark could be proving to be a huge factor with that as Bola goes off there. Hanky looks like he's one of the last one that's on a flying lap that's clean here as he makes it through the bus stop. I'm watching timer for Aiden Grover. Well, Aiden Grover's down in 21st right now, but he's up 7/10 as he comes. Let's watch him real quick because he's closer to the end of the lap. See what he does with the Tic Tac 7-Up car.
Fantastic livery.
Very nice car. Throws it into E16. Much better than 21st.
Absolutely. So we are through qualifying.
Yeah, it looks like everybody else was down.
We are ready.
Hanky finishing the lap.
Get a show on the road.
So while we're waiting for race start, let's get some predictions here in the chat. Who do you guys think is going to win this one?
I think the winner's initials are Daniel Gutierrez.
Gutierrez, yeah, that's good. What do you think, Jan?
Well, of course, we got Aiden again in the chat, chatting while he's driving P21 to P16. But yeah, I think, I actually like Gutierrez for this track. I think he's pretty solid. I know that those Hondas are great cars around here as well. Mm-hmm. I think the BMWs, they're extremely strong, but I think, as it comes to the end of the lap, or the end of the stint rather, I've just seen that they've been a little bit less consistent than the Honda and Ferrari. So I'm going to go with Gutierrez.
So we got 27 drivers lining up in the morning daylight. And like I say, for every one of these races, this is the part of the race that's most exciting because everybody's now looking around, see who they're lined up next to, saying, "Am I lined up with you? You punted me." So that guy never behaves, and that guy doesn't behave, and that guy goes 3 wide. And by the time you actually look at all the guys around you, you've got yourself in such a lather, and you're a paranoid schizophrenic by the time you're done because you think that everybody's out to get you. Well, they are. It's that moment you realize that's true. It's the moment you start sweating.
So, you want to do that fly through of the great liveries that we have here in the?
I can. Let me swing back over to the correct screen. We'll throw it up here. We'll look at the. Let's scroll it down a little bit so it's not so choppy. There we go. Got some Cartoon Network cars. We've got Marlboro. Got the
Marlboro car looks awful familiar. Ayrton Senna.
The Mercedes with the art car.
That's great looking livery. I like the 7-Up one as well.
The Team McLaren, who's got like 40 drivers this season. Bunch of Tic Tac 7-Up cars in this one. I don't recognize the 882 one. That's a newer entry there. The Wins livery on the Audi. The Lexus boys. Poisono and his white and black one. We got Patty's. We got the classic Toyota livery as well. And we've got at the back here these lovely space-themed livery as well. And that is not the button we want. I need to...
And interestingly, this, folks may not know this, but where kind of the blue shift, red shift comes from is, red shift is, as you look at, let's say that you're looking at galaxies or stars or things like that, as that light traverses, the universe is expanding. So as that light comes from a distant galaxy towards us, it actually shifts wavelengths into a lower spectrum. And so that's something that's called redshift, where, something may be blue light when it originates at a star, but by the time it hits us, it actually looks like red light because of that expansion of the universe and that shift from blue to red.
Very nice.
coolest thing I heard all day.
I'm just getting
no,
smarter
Blue Shift.
minute by minute here.
I don't know where they. Yeah, Blue Shift. I don't know where they came up with that. That's not really a thing, but I guess they had Red Shift, so they had to come up with something else.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that team has multiple cars, so they probably did Blue Shift to be the opposite of the Red Shift team. If I had to guess.
Yep. Some alternate universe where they're actually contracting.
Exactly.
Good morning, Dave. There you go.
Yeah.
Good news is everybody is on the grid. Nobody had the start from the pits penalties. Nobody forgot to hit drive.
Right.
We only had one penalty, and that was the 919 of, I think it's Browning. He had a qualifying ban, but he's
Tower
there and
also
running.
did.
Tower 2? Okay, yeah.
We cleverly, so for Browning and Tower, we cleverly didn't mention you because we, bad enough to, to be in the penalty box. So we cleverly just kind of let that lie there till now.
Oh, somebody spun out.
Yeah.
Who's that? 333.
Hey, let's get some more predictions in the chat. Now that I see we're up to 11 folks. In the chat, who do you guys think is going to win, or who do you want to see some special coverage of today during the race?
I gotta get some chat going here. So
we will definitely throw your favorite driver on at some point during the race. So far this season, we've pretty much covered every driver on the field, with maybe the exception of D Rebel, because he's got a red tag, so he looks like he's new to the league.
Oh, welcome to the league. Go get him.
I think that's the only new driver I see in that's not a silver or white tag.
All right, everybody's knuckles are getting a little white. Everybody's sweating a little bit. Everybody's checking their fuel like for the 93rd time to say, did I get enough fuel? I know that I can't be the only person that looks at the fuel.
Nope.
Repeatedly.
Jan and I were doing that last night too for a little bit. I'm going to start right about 8th place here with Ron Flo as the... This seems to be where the action happened last night and Monday night in the practice race, so I want to kind of sit around this area and see how they handle it.
Are you commentator cursing our arch nemesis here in Apex Hunters?
Not trying to, because I really want to see the Apex and Baseline boys race it cleanly all night, but, if it happens, it happens. I can't stop it.
And we're not biased commentators here at all.
No. I had good races with Flo and Toady last season, so I respect those two drivers.
Well, guys, we're ready for a green flag.
We are.
Line it up, baby. Buckle up, Buttercup. The flag is out.
Green light,
now, get them. Hold your line, boys. Look at that, beautiful. Oh, the race director likes this.
Couple 3 wide back there in the middle.
Beautiful.
Come on, let's keep it 2 wide through here. No one go crazy yet.
Oh, what a beautiful start.
Yeah, clean start. They're lining up. Nobody dying.
Back. Well, let that be a lesson to everybody.
Very nice.
Yeah, D3 showing everybody how it's done. I think D1 and D4 drivers need to take note here. There is somebody way in the back. I don't know what happened there.
That's Bickham. I think he spun out during the warm-up lap and he got sent to the pit. Oh, we got one here in the...
Browning and Holmes have gotten together a bit.
Browning and Holmes.
Little McLaren on Ferrari violence.
Breaking into the bus stop. A little... Oh, he just tried to avoid the car slowing up and then just... Aw, that's unfortunate. Can't really do much about that when you're on the grass.
Clean start.
I'm going to jump into TV cam instead of the heli cam here. As they single file down to the end of the lap. Slower than you racing. let the schmack begin.
So Rakoski's pulled out a second lead, but you know it's a long race. Nobody's really going anywhere.
Yeah, that bodes pretty badly for the rest of the field if Rakoski's already second up. He's gonna smelling that clean air.
Well, he and Gutierrez both look really smooth right out of the gate. Lorade has settled right into third. Robbie Toddy is a local guy in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, he's not too far from you. Oh, I like that screenshot.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jerry Rowley
Well,
here.
guys, we got a race on our hands.
Just loses it on the curbs. That's going to cause some nose
Uh-oh.
damage. Holds the brakes. Very nice. Nobody else
Rally
is
and Team
involved.
McLaren. Yeah.
Oh, another one. Bola here. Going into the bus stop. Let me guess, hits the curb wrong.
Yeah, it just takes way too much curb. Gets on the grass. Wow, does a decent job of saving it though.
That's not bad save. Good job.
Rodriguez and Team McLaren had it off, but he's back up and going. He's now in the Cole Haan.
Noticing a theme here with all these McLarens being involved in incidents early on. I don't know if it's a McLaren thing or just a D3 thing.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I think that McLaren's pretty. It sticks pretty good around here. Holmes is in the pit. Is pulled in the pits.
He had to fix that
Get some repair work.
damage from
And
the...
Fowler goes wide again.
Butler's just got to get his head back in it. Focus. Can't let that one mistake mess with you the rest of the race. He's got... Is that Hankey and Watts right on his tail? The Ferrari and the Lexus.
How are things looking up front with Lorade?
LeRod is 3/10 off of Gutierrez, and Rakoski apparently had a bit of a mishap last lap because that second lead is now half a second as they go up through the S's.
Yeah, these top three are pretty close. Yeah, all within a second of each other. It's going to be interesting to watch. Oh, and he's defending.
It is tight up front, everyone.
That is very nice through here.
Well, one of the signature things you love about watching Watkins Glen and watching these cars bounce over the curves through the bus stop.
Oh, for sure.
It's just a pretty thing to see.
As I got Tower and Port, Boisano. Let's see. Through the bus stop again.
Yep.
Side by side. Oh, he let him go. He's just going real slow
There you
through
go.
it. Okay. Okay.
Oh, that was a generous move, not racing him there.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Go back up here to the front for a minute while everyone else is kind of settling down. Let's see if I see some other big movers here.
This is incredible. I mean, 5 minutes in at the front, really they're all pretty much nose to tail here at the front. This is a track where I think, especially going through that bus stop and a couple other places, it's very, very difficult to follow closely. So it's impressive that these guys are putting on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, everybody's settling in. It's an hour-long race. It's a long race, and these guys look like they're well prepped for it. Nobody's out of shape, and looks like they're settling in and just getting their tires warmed up. And boy, it's tight at the top. Everybody's settling in. Here comes the move.
The top 6 positions are 5 manufacturers. Only the 2 BMWs are duplicates there. Curtis tries to get a run into the bus
Going on
stop.
the inside.
Yep.
A little rough on the
Hopefully
curb, but
he
he
can
gave it to him. Yeah, no reason to
Well
fighting
done.
that. Watts over Hankey for 11th place. You guys see any other battles there?
It's a heck of a move for both guys. Sometimes the The best move is the guy that is the passee. He's got to be you got to be. It's an art to be a good passee. We all going to get passed. Just got to make sure you're good at it.
For sure.
And I think that was a smart move from Henke. You know, playing the probabilities there. He knows it's a long race. You know, he knows he's got the Ferrari engine, which is probably the best in the field. You know, Watts just had a great run on him coming out of that corner, which is really the place where you want to do it. Oh, and is that Spaghetti that gets a little squirrely?
Oh, in front of them? Ooh!
Or no, Batla again. Batla's getting squirrely again. Looks like he's going to get passed by Watts.
Gutierrez has spun. Well, he got a half spin.
Let's see what happens
so
here.
Gutierrez has dropped 4 positions.
I think he got hit there. It looks like he got.
It looks like Lerod gave him a little tap. Yeah. So he's going to drop from first or second to 5th, but he regains.
That was a pretty good tap there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was certainly aggressive from Lerod. Especially considering the BMW has the best brakes in this entire field. So
BMW is one of the best braking cars for sure.
Yeah. Lerod might have, you know, his foot might have slipped there, you know, just like Grandpa driving there.
Kuski, though, takes advantage of that mistake by Lerod and puts 2 seconds on the field again.
Yes, he has.
I see some
a lot to watch.
Aiden followers. Let's jump in with him. They're asking what's up with it. Oh, as I do, Rebel and the 882 goes off. At least it wasn't Aiden going off. I didn't curse Aiden. I cursed another driver by changing it over though. We got Whitting Jr. in the McLaren themed 7-Up car back behind the BMW there.
Aiden Grover running 14th.
He is running 14th. He's moved up a couple positions since the start.
He has.
Spaghetti's off.
Spaghetti has got a yellow flag.
Oh, is it through?
It's in the Achilles. The Achilles is Achilles.
Let's see.
Looks like it's
it's a turn after.
Fast left-hander after. Yeah.
Oh, he just carried way too much speed, and he's still stopped because all the cars going by. He's just dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there we see Grover again going by him. Grover's in a tight battle there.
Grover here. Let's see. He's got a lot of cars behind him too.
Yep.
They're catching him.
Meanwhile, back at the motel, Rakoski's holding serve.
Jump up a few positions.
Lorraine and Toddy is 2.5, and then another second back. Gutierrez has got Curtis Lee right behind him.
And you can see him just in the front of this picture here. Look at that.
Yeah, he's got company. Gutierrez has got company, and a lot of it. He's got 3 behind him before he's got to break back to Watts. I think that's officially a gaggle.
That is a gaggle.
Yeah, it really is a train forming here behind Gutierrez. I'm kind of surprised. Like I said, Gutierrez is a very fast, very consistent driver here.
He hit the inside wall. He's got damage.
Oh, did he actually hit the wall?
Yeah.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah,
that would make sense why he's holding on a little bit here.
I said last week, he hit the inside wall, kind of like Nancy Kerrigan on Souvenir Pipe Night.
Oh no!
Again.
Yeah. It's interesting too, because that Honda, I think, is pretty aero sensitive in the front.
Yeah.
Coming through the heel. Up into Achilles. Here you go.
There you go.
Too much curb.
Yep. Looks like Blue Shift Universe is contracting there. So for a Blue Shift driver.
That allowed.
So Nick Tower's done the same thing.
Yep, he's got to try to right that ship now.
Got another one of those gaggles between 19th and 23rd with Space Baker Tower, Boissonneau, Rodriguez, Miller. Spaghetti's now followed behind that group.
Yeah, I'm surprised to
But
see
we have enough.
Kyle Miller that far back too.
Yeah.
I guess he's not enjoying the Lamborghini that much.
It's a pointy car.
That's impressive too for Kyle Miller because he was in D4 to start the season, and then he got moved up to D3 and switched cars as part of it. So I think he was in the McLaren before, halfway through.
I think so too. He was teammates with Jack Patch down at D4.
Mm-hmm.
Just too fast for D4, so surprised to see him back here in back end D3.
The Linguini Huracan is just a pointy car that is really sensitive.
I haven't driven it since I first started ACC, so I'm not sure how much better I would be doing.
I think after the last BOP adjustments, I believe that some of the geometry has improved in it, and it's a lot more fun to drive now. But it's still a sensitive car. Left, right, roll center. I think it's just awfully tedious to get that car around and get some good speed up. But the guys who know how to drive it are just lightning fast.
For sure.
So I think there's an art.
Here.
There's an art to driving the Lamborghini.
It's one car I'd like to get back into because I do love the sound of it.
Gutierrez puts a lot of pressure on Sircone here. He's really sticking with him.
Yeah, if he's got
anxious
damage,
to
he's
get
not
back
showing
up.
it.
And Curtis Lee up in the 6th place as well. That's
Where did
impressive showing from him.
Good run for him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rakowski has just put the hammer down. He has dropped the hammer. He's got almost 5 seconds. Yeah, he's like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up.
I love it, yeah. I just realized that Sircone's got the pink around his runners for October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh, cool.
Because I don't think he had. I think his was similar to his teammates last week.
So Gutierrez in that slightly damaged Honda is catching Sircone. So overall, he's only He's only 8 seconds off the lead, and that could be easily erased in a pit stop.
Ooh, what happened back here? Space Baker's off. Too wide. And just loses it out of the Achilles corner there.
Yeah, Achilles bites again.
Absolutely.
You know that's going to become the official name for that, for that corner.
Even if it's just
we're on the phone with
SRA.
NASCAR. Yeah. Well, I've got the NASCAR guys on speed dial. I'm going to call them out there on the track and make that suggestion.
Achilles
Well, the
shoot.
NASCAR guys don't run that part of the track.
Oh, good point. Good point.
They come straight through that section.
My theory on that is, there's not a lot of grandstands in the boot section, in the Das Boot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, they like stadium racing. So I think they close that off to make that road course as stadium-like as possible. That's my theory on it. And plus, over the years, it's not exactly a pantheon of great road racers there doing their discipline.
I mean, it is a left turn, so you'd think they know how to handle it, but maybe not.
They got half the track handled.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I do agree, though. Like, there's not a whole lot of stuff going on in the foot of the track there, so getting back to the grandstands to show the fans the cars one more time does make a lot of sense.
Gutierrez has dropped back here. Gutierrez has dropped back here a little bit. I'm surprised. He was pressuring Sircone for a while, but looks to have settled in.
I think he's got a little aero damage. So the problem is he's going to go in the pits. He's going to lose that 8 seconds that he needs to catch back up to Rakowski. He's got to hope other guys maybe pick up a little damage, try to fix it. Or I think there's another thing that's interesting here is the fuel tanks in these cars don't make it the whole way. The rules here at SRA is you got to take at a pit window, which is coming up in 8 minutes. There's a little pit window. Everybody's got to come in, and you got to get 1 liter of fuel. You don't have to take tires, but you can. You can fix damage if you need to. So everybody's got to come in. And so what Gutierrez needs is for these guys to not hit their pit spots perfect or get a bad entry, get a bad outlap. He needs to force the issue during the pits. So I think if I'm him, let's start thinking a little strategy. If I'm Gutierrez, I'm coming in the minute pit window opens so I can go get out of the traffic I'm in. You got to get out of the mess you're in because you don't want to be behind Circone anymore. Get it fixed and get free. And there's a spin.
Just touches the grass there. Loses it.
And then, of course, he's got to hold his brakes and hope that nobody destroys him.
Yeah, he's parked right in the middle of the track there.
And Brown, I'm assuming... No, Brown's a different part of the track there.
Yeah, so... Woody's back up and going.
Oh, he loses it out of the toe there. That is not a good place. And that's a lot of damage. You can see the car bow.
Oh, no. Hold your brakes.
Ooh. See, now, some racing simulators you do better in the grass, but not in ACC.
No, not one bit.
That's interesting. We've seen a lot of drivers just sort of spin on their own, coming, on power on, coming out of corners. Just a lot of kind of slow, lazy spins, which is surprising.
Yeah, here at Watkins Glen, you load the suspension so heavy. If you're watching the camera now, you can watch these guys go through the S's, which isn't really a full S. And then you go through the bus stop, and you go through, especially down in the Das Boot. You're just loading the front to the back and side to side. You're pitching yaw, and when you unload that thing, it just unloads itself, just like that.
Too much speed.
Grover?
It's Kyle Miller.
Oh, Miller. Wow.
Oh.
Sure is. It's a tank slapper there. Ouch. That's going to be a lot of damage.
Bad thing for him is he's still got 6 minutes until the pit's officially open, so he's going to have to come back in after he fixes that damage.
Yeah. Yeah, all that damage.
Larod just wrecked. Running second. What happens here? Let's get a... Oh, he wrecks in the same spot coming out of the foot. Or the toe, I mean.
Yeah. Watkins Glen is claiming a lot of victims today, a lot of scalps.
Dang. So that puts Toady up to second place with Circone, Gutierrez, and Curtis Lee rounding out the top 5.
It's impressive. It's like that 1948 race around here.
Think about it. 20 laps in, these guys are still nose to tail. That must be exhausting race for these guys in this train here.
I know.
I'm gonna go slightly wide.
One thing we haven't seen, for the most part, is one driver taking down another.
No, so far it looks like it's been one driver having an error and everyone just playing dodge the bowling pins.
That's just the challenge of how hard this place is.
These guys are taking it mighty careful through here.
What do you think, Andrew? Do you think this is more of a front limited or a rear limited circuit? What do you think we're going to be seeing here in the end here?
I don't know yet. More information coming.
Yeah, I mean, it feels more rear limited to me in terms of, near the end of the stint, what you're going to be feeling. So the reason I asked that question is I suspect that we might see more of those spins, as tires wear, last 15 minutes of the race.
I think it depends on what car you're in. I think the BMW is going to be stuck to the track no matter what. I think the McLaren is well balanced. So I think you may have cars other than those. I think the Lexus is pretty well balanced. I think you get pointy cars like a Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Honda, and I think they may find a little more troubles as this fuel burns off, and you get the car getting lighter in places that it wasn't lighter early in the race.
Too much curb.
There's no Porsches to talk about.
Yeah, I'm sad that Waleed's not racing tonight. He
Ugh.
said he had some work stuff that was holding his time, but he would have been a good shout for the top 5 for the season in that Porsche.
Yeah, I wanted to see what the Porsches did here. In the meantime, Rikoski is now continuing to pull away. He's now got 10 seconds on the field.
I mean, Formigal, I don't know who our biggest gainer is here, but didn't Formigal start, near the back of the pack, and now he's already up to 15.
Look, Formigal is
Greer.
up 9. Tower right behind him is up 10 from 26. And that group right there.
Goes on the inside.
Tower, Formigal.
Oh, wow.
Greer and Rebel in front of them are both up 5. So far, the biggest losers are Spaghetti minus 10, Kyle Miller minus 12. But majority of the field's pretty close to where they started.
Yeah, that was a spice move from Tower down the inside of Formigal. Looked like he gave him a slight tap, and Formigal went wide, but retained the play.
The rod's off again.
He's facing the wrong direction as well.
Yeah, he's right here in the toe. He tries to get GTG.
That's optimistic. Well, I'm not a steward, but I'd say that's a slightly optimistic move down in that corner.
It was a little late, but at least the only person he took out with it was himself. Didn't ruin 2 guys' races with that. Hopefully he'll regain here as we get closer to the pits. Maybe the pit stop will help calm him down.
Yeah.
Get him back in there. He can still make a top 10 finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other interesting thing to note here about these Hondas, and again going back to Gutierrez, I'm curious to see how this is going to end up for him with this aero damage. Is they are one of 2 cars, I believe, in the game that have their fuel tank in the front. So as they go through the entire race, the aero balance changes quite a bit, given that center of gravity shift backwards.
Yeah, what's
That's
so
on the Porsche as well.
Is it the Porsche?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
Oh yeah, that Porsche doesn't feel anything like it does from the beginning to the end, where other cars are much more neutral as the fuel burns off. You can literally feel the weight change about every 4 or 5 laps in the 9x1.
Yeah, I think for me being a slow D4 driver, that's why I can never hope to tame that Porsche. I think it's a monster when you can get it right, but for us slow guys, it's really hard to master that feeling.
Never ran well in a Porsche.
The other part of the Porsche is, since the fuel's all in the front, you have to set up the when you race a race like this where you start with over 100 liters of fuel in the front, you have to set up the tires to run a little bit hot in the first part of the race, because they're going to lose about a half pound of pressure because the front of the car's not heavy anymore.
Ooh.
So you're so about halfway through, when you get about 50 liters of fuel about left in the car, that's about when it starts getting sweet. You have to set it up to where you want to be fast. You want to be fast now or later or much later. That's the problem. If you want to get fast later, your tires are burned off. So the Porsche is a gift. Then it just takes away. So we got a pit window. I want to know who's coming in. My bet is Gutierrez gets his Das Boot in the pits as fast as he can.
GTG was the first one to stop. He was, I think, 6th going in. He
was
down in there.
So now he was in a gaggle of cars.
Yeah, he was with Flo
Grover's
and
in?
Watts, I think.
So you can get yourself out of a gaggle. Formigal's in, Grover's in,
Towers in. I
so I wonder. Yep. So you can get yourself out of a gaggle. If you're just getting held up, or you're just not liking the company you're keeping, you can get yourself out of a gaggle by pitting early.
Agreed.
Now, Rikoski needs to stay. He's got 12 seconds in the field now. I would stay out as long as I can. I don't think the undercut's that big of a deal here. But I'm thinking if he comes in now and then he comes out, he's going to be, that's what, about a 40-second, maybe not quite 40 seconds. That puts him 10, 12, that puts him back in, 10th or so.
10th
right
or so,
in,
yeah.
Right in the gaggle of cars that haven't pitted yet, and he could get held up, just enough for the next 7 minutes. But while he's getting held up, Robbie Toddy and Sarcone and Gutierrez they could be put down some hammer times.
Ron
Flo's in
6th place.
So I think I'd want to stay out until, if I'm going to lead this race by 11.5 seconds, I want to stay out and let order get restored as long as I can. So when I come in and come out, I come right back out where I started from. That's my thought, but I'm always wrong. Really, I'm always wrong.
No, I think that's the right strategy here. I mean, particularly given a lot of the guys in the back pitted early, I think the only time that would, make sense for him to come in is if he's starting to hit blue flags from the guys that have pitted, but we'll see if that happens.
I think you're dead right. He right now he's free, he's clear. There's nobody in his sights. If I'm free and clear, don't break what's not broken.
Yeah, who's that 264?
You got it
Formagol,
right.
who just pit, is only a few seconds out in front of him, but he's probably got enough time to catch him and then dip into the pits before actually having to pass him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised nobody from this train here from 2nd to 4th is kind of tried to go undercut or, if it was me, and particularly if I was kind of Sarcone in the middle, I would try to get out of that, or if I was Gutierrez, try to get out of that and put undercut.
Ooh!
Oh.
Caught that one live. I saw them getting really close to each other, and Rodriguez loses it on the curb going through the outer loop there and takes Rebel out. And I think Greer just barely survived that.
Rebel has now got a cause to come in the pits.
Gutierrez is coming in, Sarcone's coming in.
There
And
you go.
that's not good for Flo, who just pit, so he just comes out and he's right in the middle of that mess there.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna drop it back to Flo and just kind of keep an eye on where he's gonna come out relative to those.
So Robbie Toddy did what they didn't do and stay out. So he's got 6 minutes, so that means he's got about 3 laps at best before he's got to come in. He's free and clear. Let me make sure. Yeah, he's got nobody anywhere around him. So if I was in Robbie Toddy's pit, I would say, give me all you got for 3 laps.
For sure.
If you got it in you, now's the time. As Viggo Mortensen would have said in Hidalgo, let her buck.
Yeah, and I think it's also good for him that Sarcone and Gutierrez are going to be coming out next to each other and continue fighting. So he's probably going to continue to gain time, and I suspect that overcut's going to work well for him here.
Agreed.
Yeah, are they going to hold each other up by fighting with each other?
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, currently
I think I
there's
saw
a 2-second gap between them.
GTG's going side by side with somebody. If you want to jump to them, back. And he gets past Boston Alpha.
Boston, yeah. Good call.
They were going side by side all the way up through the
Boston
makes a mistake.
taking
managed to save it.
BMW through the dirt. Yeah, with all the pit stops, it looks like all of these time gaps are getting larger and larger. Tody's in the pits now. Let's drop down to...
So he's in early. I might have stayed out one more, but however, the Rakoski was actually putting more time on him. He was stretching it out on him. So I guess come in. I don't think anybody's taking tires here, are they? Let's see how long Toddy's is stationary. I got a camera on him. There's 1, 2, 3, go. He's not going.
Hanky's in.
Here
comes Sarcone on the back straightaway with Gutierrez not anywhere near him. There's Gutierrez now in the back of the screen there. Big gap.
Yep.
Well, it's probably because Gutierrez had to get
Fix
that damage repaired in that time.
There's Tody.
Yep.
There's Sarcone. That's going to be close. What, about 2 seconds, maybe? By the time they get up to speed? A little less.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. I mean, I would have really thought the right strategy there was to stay out.
Yeah.
You got 3.5 to go. Well, Toddy ended it back where he started from, but he's got less than a second down on Sarcone.
And Sarcone doesn't have Gutierrez on him either. So
you're right. So Gutierrez lost. It looks like 5 seconds or so.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to get that damage. I was thinking more like 8 or 9, but yeah. But the good news is if he's fixed and he's fast, he can put 5.5 seconds because it's entirely possible that Toddy is holding up Sarcone and is going to give Gutierrez a chance to work his way right back into it.
For sure.
Yep, and Rakowski's in the pits now, so.
And it looks like Curtis Lee is going to go one more. He's going to lead a lap here.
Yep. Leaders on pit road.
Let's see who else is
Bacom in the back there getting a stop and go 30, so he must have been speeding the pit lane.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Great to see that.
The entrance to the pits is pretty short to get your pit limiter on.
Got it.
Bacom back in 19.
Yeah, Bacom got it.
Who else is still out there?
He was caught by Buford T. Justice of Texas. We don't have time for hush puppies. The raid is in.
The raid is in.
So let's see here. Our leader.
Kuski's down to 3rd.
Yeah, but Watts and Lee in front of him have not pitted yet.
Yeah,
so
the teammates.
Good news for Toddy
4th.
is that he didn't lose anything on the pit stops. He actually picked up a little bit.
It seems that way for sure. What does it say at this time? 11 seconds? It was 16, I think, when he went in. Oh.
So, woohoo! I think he had that Mercedes a little on the sideways side.
Yeah.
A little slideways. Yeah, he stayed off of that curve too. After all of that.
Wasn't gonna mess it up twice.
Yeah.
So we'll
just be a little more conservative.
Curtis, Watts, Botla, Wazano. Says Laurent's not pitted, or is it not cycled out?
Reed has.
He just came out of the pits. Yeah, that one's not showing up correctly. He is off track. What has he done?
I think Lorraine has had connection issues. I think he's had. Let's see.
He just goes straight off. All right. Interesting. Ball is pitting. Yep, the top 3 are pitted now.
Yep. So, order is restored.
We'll get our leader back
Rakowski did it right. Rakowski absolutely did it right. Nothing different Toddy could do. He's picked up another half second. Our race is a foot or a tire.
It's 138. Miller, man, off again. Oh, he's off in the S's too. This is not a good place to be off. He's trying to get it turned around.
For those scoring at home, Robbie Toddy just put 2 seconds on Rakowski.
He's down to 9, just under 10 seconds there.
He's losing it.
Laurent missed the pit box and didn't realize he didn't actually pit. No. Oh, that's brutal. So I'm guessing he's dropped from the race. Yeah, we only have 26. He just dropped out completely because it was going to DQ him anyways.
Disqualified.
Man, you hate to see it because he was in the top 10, even with his early mistake.
Boy, Boissano is coming out of the pits. Did he get in time? Let's see what happens when he comes out. If he shows up green,
he's showing green. He must have had
super green
damage.
Either that or he sneaked in.
Like 25:01. Game wouldn't let me pit. I don't know. Okay, from Laurent himself. That's weird. I hate it for you. You were having a fairly decent run.
That's a drag.
It's one we'll have to go back and look at in the replay and see what the issue was there. Yeah, what a drag. After the pits, there's not a whole lot of racing. Tower. I'm gonna jump back to Tower and Space Baker here. They're side by side going through the S's. Aston on McLaren. Kyle Miller pitting again.
Formagal and Thomas Greer are having a conversation. 13th.
They're also having one. Let's see how this. Oh, they're going slow through there. Careful, boys.
I think if that was Sebastian Vettel, he'd pull up to the side and turn into him for brake checking up there.
It looks
Never
exactly. They're gonna sell it. Tower's just like, I just want to get back up to top 15 after starting at the rear.
Yeah, Rakowski has restored order here.
He's running away now. Hold on to these guys for a minute.
Oh yeah, he's turned it on now. I'll tell you what, Robbie Toddy has now lost position.
I would say I looked like I thought that was Sircone and Toady in the back of that other battle. Yeah, just right through the toe. He just gets under him.
That's why they're losing spots, is because they're having a gentle conversation
side by side
about who's going to finish where on the podium.
Coming out of Achilles there, Sircone's gone. He's got Toady for now. Toddy.
Well, let's find out. Does Sircone have anything for Rakowski?
That'll be nice to see. 21 minutes to go. 21 and a half minutes to go there. He's got 13 seconds to the lead.
Better go.
Last lap was a 46.3 for the leader, and Sircone was a 47.9 while in traffic with Toddy making that pass.
Yeah, let's take a look at what they do the next lap. Of course, Rakowski's best lap's a 45.42. Not bad at all.
No, he's running good times in fuel.
Yeah, considering how you got fuel in the car.
Toddy's off. Sliding. Saves it, no damage. He's going to lose at least one. Curtis Lee's catching him out of the bus stop there.
Yeah, this might bring Gutierrez back into the picture if Gutierrez can continue to put time on.
Yeah.
You are not missing anything. So let's talk about Gutierrez in the points lead here. He's 4.5 seconds behind Sircone. You know, in second, say a second or a podium doesn't really hurt him much at all in the points. So Gutierrez has done himself very nice by being resilient and not letting the early knockabout bother him, and he's held his stuff together. You're looking pretty good. Well done, young man. I can say that. I'm old.
Who is that going off there? Is that Whitting? Yeah, it looks like Whitting. Just letting the lead cars go by.
Yep.
Only 2 gaps under a second right now, and Formagal is losing time to Greer, and Tower's losing time to Space Baker.
So Formagal and Greer are still having a conversation. Whitting has come into the pits.
I'll grab Formagal real quick. We haven't spotlighted the TRD car or the Wins car too much this evening. See what he's seeing here as he comes in through the field.
That really is a great livery on that Lexus. I think it's probably one of my favorite on the grid here.
The Lexus one?
Good.
Yeah, I love it. Rodriguez in front of them goes off. That's for position. Formagal is just going to let him get back in line. Get back above the TV here. Oh! Never mind, he's not going to let him go back in line. He's just going to send him into the wall. Rodriguez says, okay, I'm just going to pit. Oh, man.
Well, that tastes like a punch in the face.
That's crazy. I hate to see that. He's like, I'm just wanting to get back in line, and just gets knocked around.
I just want to go home.
Good evening, Darren Roboshow. How is it going in Canada land tonight? Sitting back and drinking some cold ones, watching the race with us. Well, Greer got away from Formagol and ends that little battle, but now Spaghetti is on Formagol. Bickham off again. What happened here? Through. Shoot. Too much grass. Has to hold on to it.
Space Baker's around.
Space Baker. Oh, man.
Rodriguez is in the pits. There's more to that story.
There goes Gutierrez. Okay.
Interesting. Remember what we were talking about earlier, Andrew? I wonder if we're starting to see this, rear tires starting to get a little worn. Rear end starting to give up.
Yep. So order is restored, and Rakoski's now pulling out time. I've been sitting here watching the championship standings here. Boy, the cream has risen to the top, hasn't it?
Yeah. I want to say Rakoski is, what, 3rd or 4th in the points right now?
No, he's not there. I believe it.
Really?
I wonder if he missed races. I'm looking at the points here, and he's not listed.
Oh, let me look. Standings.
Let's see what I'm looking at here.
Championship tracker.
I'm looking at it. And
Oh,
I'm
he
just
is
not able to-
16th in points.
There he is. I wonder if he missed a race.
Oh, Rakoski has 3 DNSs to start the season.
Hey.
And then 2 second place finishes. I don't know if that was I got moved from one division to another, or I just had work stuff and couldn't make it.
They're saying in the chat that he started in D2, so that may be it.
Started in D2. There you go.
So
well, maybe they need to move him back up. He's moving down to D3 and immediately.
I think he's
showing up the field here.
He's letting him know what he thought about that move.
Oh, and he switched cars. Oh yeah, that's right, because he would have switched cars to match his new teammate. Fair enough. He hated the Macca and loved the Ferrari. Fair enough.
Take that.
As Tody is now being pressured by Lee into the bus stop. They're side by side. Oh, Tody.
Oh, they were. Tody's had a.
He's having an eventful night.
He's been in the middle of it. Let's leave the camera on him the whole time. He has got the drama.
Interesting. You're seeing what we talked about earlier as well with going into that chicane. Person on the inside usually is got it, and the person on the outside is often better off if they just kind of tuck in behind them or trying to fight through. And you saw that demonstrated there.
You're dead right. It's hard to take discretion as a better part of valor, but it's always I got it. I ain't got it.
Yeah. Also interesting that 5 and 6 now are Toddy and Flo.
Yeah, they're losing ground to Sircone, who's now in 2nd. It might balance out the points between Apex Hunters and Baseline at this point for the championship.
No.
Yeah, and GTG's right. And GTG's right behind them. So now the Apex Hunters are the cream in that Baseline sandwich versus the other way around during qualifying.
For sure.
If you take a look at this thing, we don't often talk about both divisions because there's so much going on. But in the silver division, Ron Flo and GTG are.
That's right,
first
they
and
are
second.
Silvers.
And the silvers are running 6th and 7th. So our podium and wait, watch this, everybody. Our podium in silver is Ron Flo, Joe Breed GTG, and Thomas Greer. Get him! And Formagol is 6 seconds behind him. So the silver podium looks very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and they're all running really well.
Because at the moment, Thomas Greer has 11 points on the season, and he's about to finish on the podium. If he can hold on to his water, he's got 6 seconds ahead of Formagol.
Look at
he's going to get a podium finish. in his division. What's wrong with that?
The couple of races, yeah, I was gonna say the couple of races I remember seeing the wins Audi was Spa and I think it was Monza. He did not have a good time.
Let's see who's strolling through the crowd like Peter Lorre contemplating a crime. And that is Gutierrez is now
he's
driven down. He's driven him down. And that's about to get interesting.
Good evening, Mr. Kim. Good to see you lurking in the chat. And yes, I agree, Darren, that Anderson has a great commentary voice. Should have been like a radio voice. Or sports announcer. Would be killing it. You got the voice, you got the knowledge, like the package deal, man.
Yeah, right. I tell you what though, Daniel Gutierrez has he has strolled through the crowd like Peter Lorre. We talked about that last week on. We got a second here. Talked about that on the D2 stream last week. Is that all through season 3, every race I talked about a driver strolling through the crowd like Peter Lorre contemplating a crime. I was waiting for somebody to say, "Oh, I know what that's from," and nobody ever said anything. Probably because they didn't care. But anyways, I was just waiting for somebody to say, "Hey, that's 1976. That's Al Stewart. You're the Cat. Alan Parsons produced that song at Abbey Road." But that's the first verse of "Year of the Cat," which is possibly one of the greatest songs ever written. So anyways, he's talking about Peter Lorre and Casablanca.
Yeah, yet I still have no idea what you're talking about, Andrew.
I feel like that's like a 60s or 70s thing, and I'm too young.
It was that was a Humphrey Bogart movie about Casablanca. It was set during World War II. And the whole play it again, say what you didn't actually say. But Peter Lorre is a Hungarian actor, and when we did the Hungary race, I talked about all my favorite Hungarians. And so I said, we're finally to the part that we can talk about Peter Lorre as being an actor. Oh, I'll tell you what, we talked about Hedy Lamarr earlier. So Hedy Lamarr's last role, she resigned from just due to total exhaustion, and she was replaced in that role with somebody we talked about last week at Hungary, which is Zsa Zsa Gabor. So two of my references just converged into one. So there you have it. Zsa Zsa Gabor replaced Hedy Lamarr in what was her last film. So not Hedley, but Hedy. So Gutierrez has still got a lot of sight. And
I think he's on the toe.
I think he's definitely got some. He's feeling the breeze.
He's just nibbling away at it. I do think he's got plenty of time here to make this happen.
Oh, he's got 10.5 minutes plus change, and the kitchen is one thing. Let's think about what I was rambling on about earlier. Is that I was rambling on about this track is like 50 feet wide. It's all fast corners, but it's near impossible to pass somebody who doesn't want to get past. It's almost like trying to put a diaper on a baby that doesn't want a diaper put on him.
Oh yeah.
So boy, don't we know about that? So let's find out if Sir Cone wants a diaper, or if he wants to run through the playground buck naked. And I'll bet you he wants to be naked.
Yeah, he does not want to see Gutierrez in front of him as they both slide through
there he is.
Achilles there.
Yeah, see, we mentioned like through Das Boot, that the car is so loaded when you get out of those corners, it unloads, and you think you're gonna fly through the Armco barrier.
Yeah, because I want to say all the corners in the boot section up until you get to what we're calling Achilles on the exit, they're all really high camber. So
there it comes.
You flatten out, and you lose all that. Yeah, he's just gonna have to give him space.
There's the move. Or not. I don't want that.
No, he's not. Is he gonna block coming down into the bus stop here? No, he's got enough.
See some fair play.
He's got enough room. He doesn't need to try to make a defensive move.
That was fair play by everybody.
Yeah, Gutierrez knows he's probably faster. He'll find a spot to get by a little bit cleaner.
So we're watching everything else, everybody. We got some
Oh, they're going for it.
battles, but I wouldn't take my camera off of this.
Oh, yeah, I was about to go down to another battle, and I saw Gutierrez making a move.
Wow, and he gets it done.
Right through
That's
the
done in the
chute.
chute. That's impressive.
Wow. Well, that's impressive.
He's pull up half a second coming out of the toe there, and Honda might just disappear.
Some serious championship implications with 2 races to go after this one.
And where was Gutierrez? I mean, he was P6 or P7, plus he had damage he got to get fixed. It was an impressive showing from him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He's making a run from the early mistake for sure. I'm going to switch over to Wozano, Formigal, and Spaghetti in the middle there.
And so if you're Rikoski, you're just saying, dear Lord, don't let me wreck it.
You got 20 seconds, and he's got probably a good 20 seconds to the cars in front of him that are blue flags, so he's just going to hang out and chill, and Spaghetti goes off in the bus stop.
Yeah.
Loses one, but he keeps the car off of the wall. Fights another day.
I've got another camera going here that's off y'all's radar. I'm gonna keep it on Rikoski and watch him say, "Hear me, O Lord."
Who is leading? We got Jacob Rikoski. I'll show it real quick, Durbin. He's like you last night, just checked out, hanging out, probably sipping martinis up here.
Oh yeah.
While we were discussing the Gutierrez and Sarcone battle, Aiden Grover got around Hanky for 10th. The Lamborghini is on a charge.
Yes, he did. And Thomas Greer has pulled out on Formigal, pretty heavy lead, so he is looking like he's very bronzed. He's bronze in silver, and that's just kind of golden, isn't it?
I love it. Very clever. Yeah, Greer's wanting that podium for this silver class.
Yeah, well done.
He knows he's not really in the hunt for the championship, so he's just going to try to finish this season up, get as many good finishes as he can, and carry it to season 5.
Hey, sneaky dude to the race, Curtis Lee, 4th place.
Yeah, Curtis is up 2 or 3 positions, I believe, from the start.
When you can go a whole race and not have the camera put on you, you probably did good.
I would agree. That's what I like, a nice quiet race where the camera's not on me. They're just like, oh, where'd he come from at the end?
Yeah, don't put the camera on me. So, best laps, still Rikoski has got 3/10 on Gutierrez for best lap of the race, so he's just safe, and safe.
Yeah, it looks like Rikoski's going to get the max points tonight. Fastest qualifying, fastest lap in the race, and the win.
Not that I'm from Atlanta or anything, but Rikoski's got a much safer lead than the Mets had against the Braves.
Oh. That's a good one.
You got to get your trolls in.
Oh, Greer in the background hits the
here?
wall out of the boot there. Let me grab exactly what happened. Just loses it on the exit. I didn't know if he hit the curb, but
that lead to he's in the pits.
Oh, and that's gonna give Formigal and Boisano the chance to race for P3. That is unfortunate. So there's your new silver guy going for the podium.
I was with you,
man.
So Formigal now inherits bronze for the silver.
So I got 6/10 on Boisano behind him, so that's still a good battle. Someone in chat says, "Let's not talk about the Mets." I love it.
I'm sorry.
They're still feeling that reference.
I can't help it. Hey, I'm sorry. I should not have gone there.
Love it.
Sorry.
This is really the only battle that's going on right now. Everyone else is kind of gapped out a little bit.
Well, I don't mind looking at this this Lexus livery, so I'm happy to stay here all day.
I am also a fan of it. I like it how it says almost a super on the rear bumper there.
So
Yeah.
I guess Thomas Greer went from being a bronze and silver, which is quite golden, to now being in the pits, which is quite pewter.
Agreed. He's about to lose a lap to Formigal. He's still in the pits fixing that damage. That is a lot of damage to lose a whole lap.
How long till somebody in the chat asks if we're going to see the super in ACC?
I'm surprised we haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
I know we were in the Discord earlier. They were someone was asking about the Ford GT, and I'm like, that car has been retired. They're not putting that in there.
Yeah, it's always.
They got a new.
It's always
though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me though that people race the game all the time and are not familiar with the different sanctioning bodies. That somebody always jumps in and explains that difference between the SRO and
the Mustang.
Yeah.
They'll be
Again,
out 2024.
not raced in.
I don't think they'll be
Again,
raced
I don't
in
think
this
those are
division.
raced in the. Yeah, I don't think they're raced in the SRO. I think both of those are WEC or IMSA cars.
WEC and IMSA, yeah. As the racing bodies slowly homologate all cars to be able to race more series together.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Arsene, but I think we missed Boston out there.
Yeah, he
getting
passed.
past Sankey.
Was that in the bus stop or up the hill?
It looked like it was up the hill.
Okay. Good for Bonzo.
Yeah. But now Spaghetti's coming up on Formigal. Yep.
Battles everywhere.
While that AMG livery is great, it is confusing to say that I have a BMW art car livery on an AMG on my arch rival AMG. So
Exactly.
bold from those guys.
It has hurt my brain more than once.
Got their league pass. They're just they're talking about the Mets. Yeah, that is true, Darren. We do get one more set of one more set of DLC before they retire the DLCs from this. Oh, Formigal's off.
Yep.
And I think that DLC though has already been announced. It's going to be the GT2 cars and the 3 new GT3, which is the Ferrari, the Lambo Evo 2, and I can't remember what the third one, the Porsche.
Porsche,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, the new Porsche.
Spaghetti's getting over for the leader. Oh, we are down to the final lap. I did not realize we had already ran off this much time.
Where did the time go? I mean,
we're just having fun.
Yeah, we keep having fun doing this, and we're gonna have a night where we do this. We actually don't have a race on. We're just gonna start yakking whether there's a race on or not.
So Kuski's now catching Formigal, is just 13th. He's got.
I mean, this is just Rakowski. Yeah, I mean, this is just Rakowski. Just pushing on here just because he can. You know what I mean?
He's backed off. He's running 3 seconds a lap slower than his fast time. So he has indeed said, "Dear Lord, please don't let me wreck."
Yeah, I mean, he's just letting Formigal take the corner where he wants. He's not even trying to pass him.
Yep.
Look, he's even letting Spaghetti by. He says, "You guys battle for the last lap. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the tires warmed up for this."
I bet Spaghetti wishes he did that earlier because he was right behind Formigal and then pulled over to let him by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jacob's he's just driving Miss Daisy right now.
He's just chilling.
Did you see what happened in the Asian SRO race a few weeks ago? One of the guys in the Ferraris had like 18-second lead on the last lap, and he wandered around kind of like this, and he was flashing headlights and waving at people, and he finished third.
Yeah, I did see that.
No
that was
way.
hilarious.
He sure did.
You gotta watch the cars that are passing you for sure. Look at Spaghetti there in Formigal.
Whoa, little slideways.
They're there. Oh, Rakowski.
Oh, and they're gonna have to go around a whole nother lap.
They got a whole
stick with
other
them.
lap. Yep, I'm gonna watch them as soon as we get through here. Spaghetti here. So Rakowski's got the win.
Oh,
And, well, there goes that battle. Rikoski says,
Yeah.
wait, he thinks it's over. No, he thinks it's over.
He did. Oh no!
No, Spaghetti.
Oh my God, that's
no.
gonna. Oh man, that is
Gutierrez second.
terrible mistake. As Spaghetti just tumbles on the order.
Curtis
Elaine
Lee.
Prost did that.
Bodie.
Oh,
Do you think Spaghetti realizes what he did here is just he had a whole nother lap to go?
oh.
I think he thought because Rikoski was there and he got the checkered that his checkers happened too. Didn't realize that he got back in front of him.
I bet he wishes that Rikoski had stayed in front there. That would have been pretty interesting. But Lexus has to go another lap.
Yeah, he should have let him by.
Bola ninth after his incidents, and Aiden Grover going to round out 10th. Very nicely done in the Lambo.
Robbie Toddy did all of that and finished 5th. Well done.
Yeah, he had a very up and down night and still made the top 5. Good for him.
He didn't have the pointy end facing forward a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Interestingly, I don't see Spaghetti moving down the order here. Unless I'm mistaken, I thought that because he finished in front of the leader, he would have another lap to go.
It'll drop him down, I think, when everybody else comes across.
Yeah, there it goes. It's circulating him down now. He's showing 17th or 18th on my screen.
There it goes.
It's waiting for all the cars on his lap to go down.
Getting some Lambo donuts here.
Hey.
Aiden's getting some pictures with his teammates of Whitting and Kyle Miller.
Those are Lambo nuts.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, I had fun.
It's good fun. It was a great race up and down the field here. They're still going in it. I love it.
Gentlemen, well, unfortunately, I have to dip out for before the interviews here, but it's been fun sharing the booth with you.
Thank you, Jan, for filling in. Hopefully, we'll get you back in here soon.
Hopefully, we'll get to do it again next week.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I guess we need to go find some. We need to find some podium guys.
Yeah, we're gonna try to find some of the drivers. See if I can throw them into the cool down room here. I see race winner Rikoski. I guess we'll get him first since I see him. Hey, Jacob, can you hear us?
Yeah, hello.
Hello. How's the race from your perspective? It looked like you had a pretty easy night.
Yeah, I figured Daniel was gonna pass me at some point, and then I got squirrely, and all of a sudden he was dead. So I'm not sure what happened. I didn't get to see the replay yet, but I feel bad for him. I don't know if it was my fault or what, but
we watched it on the live screen. I don't think it was your fault, but like you said, the replay will show exactly what happened. He definitely hit the wall a little bit and damaged the car, which cost him in the pits, but anyway, he still came back and got a second place out of it.
Yeah, it was a good drive from him. He's always quick. He always scares me.
I'm with you.
Well, you had a stroll tonight.
Yeah, it was nice. Just kind of hot lapping out there, but I got a little boring towards the end. I like when there's a little battling going on. But it was a fun race. I'm not a big Watkins fan, so it was good that I didn't have to do too much because it's one of my least favorite tracks, which is not like everybody else.
Fair enough.
Well, how was the car? Did you get a lot of tire degradation, or did the car get easier to drive or harder to drive?
I felt like it got harder to drive towards the end. Obviously, I was lifting a lot through the second to last corner, that quick left-hander, because had a couple track limits and my tires were gone, and I had a big enough lead. But the setup was really good. Felipe and James in D1, I use their setups usually. We're pretty close, so it was good to have them and that experience with the setup, and it was nice.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Well, you look great. You never stepped out of line. It's the way you win races. So it was a lot of fun to watch.
So guys, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You got
Have a good evening.
You guys too. See ya.
Oh, we've got Corey Sarcone in Race Review 2 if you'd like to.
I will grab him and throw him up here.
There you go.
Corey, good evening.
What's going on?
Not much. How are you feeling after the race, sir?
Oh man, I'm tired. I'm hot.
I feel it.
That was probably my hardest race this season.
You were you were fighting somebody for an hour. Different people, but you were fighting somebody.
I was fighting Toady the whole
Mhm.
first half. I thought I was going to sneak by him on the pit stop, and man,
Yeah.
he got right out in front of me leaving the pits. So it was just like lap 1 again. And then probably a few more laps. I finally sent it on him. What would that be? Down in the toe.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
He was braking real early and kept going wide, and I was like, you know what? I got to take my chance here, or else I'm never going to get by him. So I took
That
my
was a good
shot.
move.
Yeah, I hope he didn't get too mad over it, because I kind of felt bad because we were bumping a little bit, but I mean, he just planted his car perfectly every time, and I was like,
Mhm.
I got to send it.
I feel
But
you.
it was fun. It was fun.
It's a good race to watch from our perspective as well.
Yeah, you guys were fun.
Well, I'm glad. I think that was probably my best battle I've had all season. Probably my only battle I've had all season.
Yeah, usually they
No.
last a couple of corners, and you're kind of floating in limbo for the rest of the race.
No,
Yeah,
you had a great race.
I was hoping to give Gutierrez a tough time getting by me, but I went deep in turn 1 there, and I thought I kind of got in front of him. Wasn't too fair, so I let him by on past the bus stop there.
Yeah, we were watching that one, and we talked about how what great racecraft it is. Whether you're passing or getting past, that there's a lot of craft in racing with somebody. We mentioned that in the race, and so we certainly noticed it. It was easy to see that you guys knew what you're doing.
Yeah, I try to have a good racecraft with everybody. I know how frustrating it is to be taken out, so I try my best.
Well,
Yes,
y'all did
sir.
it. Y'all did it perfect.
Good. Glad.
So great race, everybody. That was great. We enjoyed watching you guys battle. That was fun.
Oh, glad to hear it. Glad it was entertainment for you guys.
2 more
It was
weeks.
a lot of fun on my part.
You racked up a lot of points too.
Yeah, another podium. Oh, it's at my 3rd podium this season. Pretty pumped.
Yeah.
That's a lot of trophies. So yeah, so we'll have to do some advanced mathematics on the points to see how far up you moved on that one. But the cream is certainly rising to the top when it comes to the points in D3.
Yeah, it's getting exciting.
2 to go. Go get them next week.
Yeah. Good luck on the last 2
Okay.
races.
I'll be giving it my all. That's for sure.
Love to see it.
Good stuff. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you guys. You too.
See you later, Court.
Let's see. Do you see Daniel Gutierrez anywhere around? I don't see him.
I do not see him as well. He usually doesn't lurk in the chats too often.
Well, with that, that's our podium as we can bring it to everybody. So I feel guilty. I had more fun than everybody else again. And you're absolutely you're awesome. Yeah, that's well covered race. That was a pleasure to get to sit and listen to what you had to bring.
Appreciate it. It was good being in the booth with you. Good being in the booth with Jan, who filled in for Kyle, who's I think dealing with a sickness or something, because I didn't get a response from him earlier. So I hope he's doing all right.
Well, big shout out to Jan for hopping in, and a lot of great commentary. Jan really was able to bring a lot to the broadcast. He was able to bring what wasn't on the screen to tell you what was about to happen, and that's the cool part of analyzing these things, and he's got it
For sure.
Big shout out. So with that. Where are we going next week? I don't even know yet.
We are going to Japan. We are going to be at Suzuka in the wet for the races next week. Yeah.
For those of us about to die, we salute you.
It's gonna be interesting. It's tricky track in the
Oh,
dry.
wow.
It's gonna be even trickier in the wet. Hopefully, everyone gets their practice in.
Oh, let's go turn some laps, and I guess we're gonna sign ourselves off, aren't we?
That sounds like a plan. See y'all next time.
Yeah.